What is up, guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix, and I am here with Dash Attack. Okay,
Hey everyone.
and Dante is probably going to be joining us later tonight. He might be, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Either way, we're going to have fun, and but I do hope that Dante shows up. If he's able to make it to the show. And we're supposed to have a special guest tonight, Brandon, the anime guy, which I'm also not sure if he's gonna if he's gonna show up. So today is a bit of a strange turn of events. So I don't mean to disappoint anybody, but we're gonna go ahead and, and make it fun for you guys. All right.
Yeah.
So we got some pretty cool topics to talk about, and we're gonna start off the show with Record of Ragnarok because it's out on Netflix now, and some of the things I want to say about the show, as well as, and then later on, we're going to go a little bit about Velma, a little bit about Cowboy Bebop. So, yeah, we got a show for you guys. So, starting off, man, Record of Ragnarok. Record of Ragnarok. Season 2's out on Netflix. I finished watching it. My only complaint is that it wasn't long enough. What do you think, Dash?
I could have I would have liked to have seen the next fight. Yeah.
Yeah, because after I watched the first season, I say I gotta read the manga. I have to read the manga, immediately. But I think one of the reasons, I mean, this is the Naruto effect, I call it. One of the reasons why it takes so long, I think, is because they're trying not to catch up with the manga,
Oh
because here in
yeah,
America.
absolutely. Like that was disastrous when Naruto caught up to the manga.
Yeah, because then what happens is like people's kind of like they stop buying the manga, right? So they then now so what the Naruto directors did, they made all these filler episodes so that it doesn't catch up. You got to
Oh
let
yeah,
the
but
manga
but
go on ahead.
but even with that, they had to make even more filler episodes because it really caught up, and then it stretched the whole like final arc, which is already like really long. And so, like I actually have not finished the anime version of Naruto. I've read the manga in full, and
Oh,
I also
really?
played Ninja Storm 4. It just like I already knew what happened, and like there was just too much filler I couldn't weed out. It was
Hmm.
just getting too much.
Yeah, man, and but we waited a long time for Record of Ragnarok. Like okay, because it came out in 2020, I think, and then what was it, 2021? The Record of Ragnarok, if I'm not
Yeah, it
mistaken.
was. I think it might have actually even been 2019. Like it might have.
Well, no, because I think it came out on Netflix, I believe, the summer of 2021. Then we waited basically 2 years for the second season to come out.
Yeah,
Um,
that
but
was.
Record of Ragnarok, I mean, the creativity is just out of this world. Because like I was saying earlier, like it just goes on tournament mode, right? It's just a tournament between the gods and humans, and I mean the freaking battles are absolutely just epic. And on top of that, man, on top of that, it's like you learn about historical characters that you haven't heard of before. I
Yeah,
think out of all the characters, there was only one. There was only one that was not actually historical. I think it was just fictional, just for the anime. But aside from that, Record of Ragnarok, I mean, it's just it's. I don't want to say that it's a masterpiece, but it's it's one
it's
hell of a
fun.
story.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's
I
really
just call
fun.
it fun.
Right, and the reason why is because it's like when like I was saying earlier about Naruto, is that Naruto, like one of the best things about Naruto before Shippuden was the what you call it, the tuning exam.
Yeah, the tuning exam. Yeah,
Yeah, because the tuning exam, they go through the whole forest, right, and go through all these trials, and then when they get to the tournament, once it goes into tournament mode, it's like it's just absolute, like, just epic battles. And I think that's one of the things that people love about Dragon Ball is just the tournament. It gets people riled up. It's
yeah.
almost like you're watching like the Olympics or something.
Oh yeah, like like whole Naruto versus Neji was like one of the like hypest fights.
Oh
Oh
my
man.
god, man. Naruto versus Neji. Yeah, Neji actually became one of my favorite characters with
Oh
his
yeah,
his fighting style, Taniken. It's called Taniken, if I'm not
Tanika.
mistaken. Like his fighting style.
Yeah, yeah, the palms.
Yeah, the palm strike and the with the Byakugan. He actually became one of my favorite characters, and then he got his ass beat by Naruto in the Chunin
Yeah.
exam, which I thought was absolutely epic. By the way, you remember when everybody started copying Rock Lee in the Chunin exam? Yeah, everybody started copying Rock Lee. First it was Sasuke, and then no, it was Naruto first. He copied like that. What you call it? That move where he kicks people in the air, and then Sasuke came back and made his entire style around similar to Rock Lee.
Yeah, and he used the Sharingan to do it.
Yeah, except that he couldn't like keep up with it because he didn't have the stamina. But the thing is about Rock Lee has the stamina to pull that off, and Sasuke just didn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, but Record of Ragnarok, man. There were historical figures there that I had no idea about. I mean, in the first fight was Thor against Lubu, but I think we all knew about Thor. And as far as Lubu, I never heard of Lubu until Record of Ragnarok. Um, but I think you told me he's in like in a lot of RPG games, right?
Oh yeah, Dynasty. I think he's in Dynasty Warriors, like a lot of the Dynasty Warriors games, which I know is like a major franchise.
Oh yeah, the
Which
Dynasty Warriors since the 2000s, since the PSP era, Dynasty Warriors has always been like this huge, just like what do
yeah,
you call those games? Like it's not hack and
well, I
slash.
think
It's
they're,
like
they're like their own like thing. Like it's like
their own
this
little
open
category.
battlefield. Like
Yeah, open.
I've played like Hyrule Warriors. That's really like all I've done. I've played the Hyrule Warriors, which is just a spin-off of there's several Dynasty Warriors spin-offs.
Yeah, because the Dynasty Warriors was big in the 2000s.
Yeah, the PlayStation era. Some of my friends from college would play some of those games on. They had a PS2 and they'd
Hmm.
hook it up in college.
Um. Yeah, and then there was one of the really interesting part was Adam. The first man.
Oh yeah, I think I love. Yeah, they
He
actually
was butt naked. He was butt.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Well, that's because they were going off the Sistine Chapel depiction of Adam, which is like one of the most famous like depictions of Adam. There's um Michelangelo's painting in the Sistine Chapel of God creating man. They have Adam with the leaf covering his
Yeah,
yeah, Adam was great. Like they made him like
his
more
powers,
sympathetic.
man. His powers were just
Oh
like because
yeah,
he had the God's eye. Was it the God's
yeah,
eye?
the lies of the Lord, the eyes of the Lord.
Eyes of the Lord. Okay, yeah. Well, he can copy anything that the gods do because
Yeah.
he's the first man.
Because it goes off the passages of the Bible. God made Adam in His image. So what he basically has like a Sharingan that can mimic the gods' abilities.
I like that. I like that. Sharingan, a freaking
Yeah, the
Sharingan.
eyes of the Lord. No, eyes of the Lord sounds a lot more epic.
And then there was that other fight was Kojiro and then Poseidon.
Poseidon. Yeah,
Yeah,
Poseidon
Kojiro.
was cool. A lot of the gods like are depicted in ways you wouldn't expect, like how Buddha was in this second season. Like
Oh,
he
oh man,
looks
I
like
love
a
Buddha.
hipster.
Yeah, I love Buddha in the manga. Yeah, he's a hipster because Buddha he's the chill guy. He's the laid back god.
Well, I guess that's fitting with Buddhism. What I know of it.
Yeah, I was actually into Buddhism years ago. Like in my early 20s, I got into Buddhism. Actually, fun fact. One of the reasons why I started meditating was because of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Right, because it was just like this. It kind of came in at the right time almost because like towards the last season before I think before Korra, Legend of Korra came out. I actually I watched the Avatar: The Last Airbender again, and then I started meditating, right? Because I saw Aang meditating, I was like, oh, let me try this shit out. So I looked at some videos on YouTube, then I got into meditation and stuff.
Oh,
So
that's pretty cool. Like, I Buddhism, I learned about like Buddhism in school. Like, I do think its philosophies are interesting.
all right. So somebody said I spoiled the fight scene record of Ragnarok.
Oh,
All right, no more spoilers, guys. No more spoilers. Sorry. So
okay.
Record of Ragnarok is out. Go check it out. Also check out the manga because in the actually watch the anime and then go check out the manga because in the manga they show you more fights. You know, after that happens after season 2. It's really cool. It gets really epic. It's so freaking just awesome. I love the battles in the characters that they choose for these fights. Gods versus humans. Um, but Dash, I want to talk a little bit about Velma.
Oh,
Have you been catching up with that story?
I told you I watched the opening of that show, and then when it hit the title screen, I turned it completely off. It was
It
just
was that
horrible.
bad?
It was that bad. I was going to like possibly do a Wednesday versus Velma video, and then like I couldn't even do it because I couldn't even get through the first episode. And apparently it only gets
Understandable,
worse.
understandable.
It only gets worse from what I've heard.
Yeah, I actually I got something to say about that because it gets kind of embarrassing actually. But let me share my screen here. Hold on a second, guys. All right, so I'm here at cbr.com. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Okay, it
Velma's
says Velma's popularity spikes by 127% despite overwhelmingly negative reviews.
like what? Like
So
in Google searches, that's not popularity. That's people like looking at a fire.
yeah, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes. You go to Rotten Tomatoes, and how the hell is this show? Like, there's no way that it's like there were some reports saying that it was as popular as the Wednesday show, which
Oh
I thought
no,
it
no,
was.
no. People love Wednesday. Like, yeah, it has it. It's like I'm sure there's things you can nitpick about Wednesday about why it isn't good, but like but generally the consensus is Wednesday is like an enjoyable show and an enjoyable series. Like this, like nobody really defends Velma. Like
No,
the only one who
it's
defends it is the woman who created it,
oh, what's her name? Mindy
Mindy
something.
Kaling or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mindy
she was on
Kaling.
The Office.
But wait, hold on a second. But doesn't she know what happens in each episode? I mean, she is the producer or director, isn't she?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, but okay. So here are the scores. The audience score is still 6%. It went up to like 8%. Like I think like a couple of weeks ago, and then
I think it started at 8 and it's just gone down.
yeah, it's gone down. Yeah, it's
And
got
I
ten
think it's
thousand
going to stay
reviews.
at 6. I think it's just going to stay at 6.
Yeah, most likely, most likely. But basically saying that in the like they didn't give any numbers as to like how many viewers, right? At least not none that I have seen. But there's no way that it's up to the level of what's it called of Wednesday because apparently Wednesday had more views than Stranger Things. Apparently,
Yeah,
so they
and
say.
Squid Game like Wednesday
And
broke
Squid Game.
records.
Yeah, it broke records. Cause I mean, Stranger Things got like 13 million views. I think for each of its season, it brought in like about 13 million viewers. Um, and then I'm guessing Wednesday probably hit 30 million. I'm guessing, right?
Mhm.
So, but it actually gets worse with Velma because check this out. So it says this is coming from Fox News. It says Scooby Doo
Yeah.
spinoff has Velma's pole dancing for father as series becomes worst rated animated show ever.
Pole
IMDb.
dancing for her Oh
I'm not
no.
joking. I'm not joking. By the way, guys, I actually looked this up. Like I literally went to HBO and I went to episode 6. Episode 6, right? Like I think about 10, 12 minutes into the show, she gets on a
Well, I mean like the first episode starts with two cockroaches having butt sex. I'm
What?
not even kidding. In the girls'
I
locker room.
Okay, see, I didn't watch the first episode. I just kind of watched clips online that people were sharing,
Oh yeah, like
right?
I don't know. I'm just telling you like what I saw. like and like it there's two cockroaches having sex in the girls' locker room. Like I've never even thought of like sometimes I think, do bugs even have sex? Like, and then here it is on screen.
No, I get it, I get it, and it's like, well, that's not the best way to start a a show. Like, oh, let's show a sexy scene of these bugs. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's in the show. Like, I think it's trying really really hard to be funny, but it just ends up being total cringe and kind of
Well,
disgusting at the same time.
I was told it was trying to be more like the Harley Quinn show, which I have seen, and I actually watched the first season of Harley Quinn just recently, and I haven't started season 2 yet, but I think the reason why it works for Harley Quinn is because, like, yeah, it establishes itself that this isn't like the traditional DC universe, and but then again, like Velma also kind of suggests that it's not the traditional DC universe. I mean, Scooby Doo,
Right.
and it's even more different now with all the racial changes and stuff. But oh, and the lack of Scooby. So
Yeah.
like, I'm just trying to think like why. I mean, some people hate the Harley Quinn show, so like it's not like I just think like it's because I guess Scooby Doo was always a kid's show and Batman has always been kind of dark and had like,
Yeah, the mysteries.
and so like, it's just really off brand for Scooby Doo and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. I want to go to the comments real quick. Let's see. Some people are saying, I regret, what was it? Mr. Anime says, I regret watching the entire first episode. Sun Tzu says, Velma is the most effective. Velma is the most effective form of torture out there.
True.
Vince Singer says, I understandable despite that I didn't watch it, nor will I ever watch it, but news about it is enough. Mr. Anima says CBR is a shill site. They also made lots of clickbait articles and call anime fans incels. Yeah, I actually made a video about that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I hear
why are anime
CBRs
fans thought of as incels?
because they like anime porn. That's why. Like, anyone who likes porn must be a virgin and therefore not have a girlfriend or like, it's just very low level like generalization shit. Like, like they take one aspect of anime, the fan service, and then they just make it like, oh, if you like that, you're a creepy guy who just like yanks it all the time.
Right.
And that's just like a bad like I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just not nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's people have a lot of assumptions, but it makes me wonder, like, because back then, like, especially now that anime has gone mainstream, like, I don't know, like the image of an incel and an anime fan, I just
I don't know. Like incels, like from what I understand, are supposed to be like really like bitter misogynists that like like hate
yeah,
other
yeah,
women for not sleeping with them. Like
yeah,
and,
something
and
like that.
it's like a but and like I honestly don't think there are that many like incels. Like yeah, like I mean like
Or people that identify as an incel because
yeah,
like
no,
that's what
like
they
I
want
mean,
to
there
do.
are there a lot of horny people and horny men? Yes, like
Yeah,
but
I don't think anybody.
that's just nature. That's just human nature. Like
Yeah,
it's just like and like I don't think that's something that should be vilified. That's just like
there's also femcells.
oh yeah, femcells. I love that word because it kind of like it spins that whole table right here because like there are definitely like bitter women that are the exact same way.
Yeah. No, but I mean about the incels, it's like, not everybody that's not having sex is identifies as an incel because I mean I've had girlfriends and I've been single for a while now. I mean ever since the pandemic especially because of, since I started working from home. But like not everybody that like if you haven't done it in like a long time, that doesn't mean you're an incel. It's just everybody has a different situation in life, and
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just got a girlfriend.
yeah, and honestly, I think if you're more like the school shooter type, like hanging out like by yourself, just like hating women, kind of like do you what's his name? Elliot Rogers, was it?
Elliot Rogers. Yeah. Did he was he a school shooter?
No, he like did kind of. It was in his school. He became like an insult legend. I think this was like back in like 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just like his YouTube videos are still his YouTube videos are still there. He's kind of like a comic book character. He talks like very entitled. He's like very entitled to women and shit. So
Yeah, like Andrew Tate, like, but maybe a little bit worse or
more
something.
well more creepy, very
Oh
creepy
yeah,
actually.
I
Because at
can
least
I can.
Andrew Tate is a millionaire.
Oh damn, I had no idea.
Andrew Tate, yeah, he's a millionaire. Andrew Tate lives in Romania. He owns casinos. Andrew Tate used to be a kickboxing world champion.
Uh
So I think that's why he acts really cocky. When he talks about women. You know,
yeah, I actually haven't like heard any like of his rants. Just seen like like the memes and the parodies and stuff.
yeah.
Like yeah, like that the Meat Canyon video where he makes out with himself.
Oh, what the heck? What the
Oh,
heck?
Meat Canyon videos are trippy as hell.
um. Okay, so again with the comments, Mr. Anime says still waiting for season 2 of Squid Game. Yeah, me too actually. Vince Singer says, "Oh my god, incest plus cheese pizza in Velma." So Velma is lucky that it's animated. If it were in a live action, I freak out about it. Um, what else we got? It says Genesis Kaiser. Says it's a reference, and I think that's it for the comments. All right, so yeah, anything you want to say about Velma
Um,
as far as that?
I guess why is all
Oh,
I can really say about Velma. Like I said, I would really like to do like maybe like a quick video on why Wednesday's better, but it's just like it's not going to be very much of a fun contest because Wednesday's just going to win every like category.
yeah, I love her character. By the way. Wednesday, oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, second season's going to be hype. I hope it
Oh,
doesn't get
watch
stale.
this, watch this. You know how like people were saying that Wednesday and the Wolf Girl, they're supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a queer bait. I
No,
bet you in
no, they're
season
clearly just friends, and they clearly both like guys.
right, and Tim Burton says that they're both heterosexual. That it was never meant to be like a gay relationship. It's supposed to be like this, like like buddy comedy
Well,
between
I
them.
I don't know. It's just like some people like don't understand the concept of friendship. Like everything has to be like a ship with these shows,
Yeah,
and
and
things cannot just be like just like a friendship between two people of the same sex.
yeah. So I'm thinking season 2, they're gonna do something to like make them both queer. Just,
I
I mean,
mean,
I hope not. I
I
hope
think
not.
that'd be a little like
That would
I
be
don't
so
know.
out of character, though. That was like goes so against like the original like idea narrative of the story. I think
No,
I might lose interest.
I think that'd be really pushing it. I mean, like there might be like other like gay characters, like like I wouldn't mind that, but like as long as they're all written well, and like the one kid that had two moms, like he was a good character. You felt really bad for him when he got hospitalized and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um. Okay, so we ranted a little bit about Velma. I want to go on to our next story over here. Hold on a second, guys.
Okay.
Next story over here because this one caught my attention immediately. So I'm here bounding into comics, and it says Cowboy Bebop creator Shinichiro Watanabe says he was only able to stomach one scene of Netflix live action adaptation. Did you watch it, Dash?
The Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah.
No, I've seen some of the original though.
Yeah, so if you see this picture right here, this is John Cho. He's playing Spike,
Yeah,
and
I know.
and I John Cho, I thought he was okay for the part. I thought he was all right. I mean, I didn't have many complaints about him.
He's got that like 70s style hair
Yeah,
down.
he's got the '70s style here. Yeah, definitely. But I think they could have chosen like a better actor for the role. Um, and of course, Faye, the actor for Faye,
Oh
she
yeah.
she made an entire shed show.
Oh yeah.
Uh, when the
Dumb.
before the series came out.
Dumb and arrogance. And and,
Oh my
and
god, yeah.
the hubris, like, just to antagonize people, like, you're making this to attract anime fans, and then you're lashing out at like maybe like two people on Twitter who said like, oh, your boobs aren't big enough. Like, how
Yeah, and
insecure can you like possibly be?
yeah, I was actually talking about that to one of my friends because when that happened, right? He was saying that, oh well, the celebrities are always, celebrities can say whatever they want online on their social media, and that's true. But I was saying that if you're promoting a TV show that you were in, maybe not antagonize people. Maybe you shouldn't like make videos to like hate on the fans. You know what I mean? Right? So, like if you're promoting the show, everything that you post on social media should be pretty positive. Nothing that's like combative. You know,
Yeah,
and
I
and
think
that's what she was doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Hollywood is kind of starting to learn like the hard way that type of marketing, while it can get you a lot of like publicity and free airtime from the YouTubers, it's not going to like necessarily mean profit.
Oh yeah, definitely. So there was already a lot of like negative press around Cowboy Bebop, and here's what I gotta say about the show because I think the show was actually pretty the cinematically like it looks pretty. It's kind of like the whole Star Wars case where like the Disney Star Wars trilogy
Yeah.
looks very good, but the story is horrible and the characters are like blah.
No, I mean like between like all three of the movies have some pretty like stellar shots and some not so stellar shots, but the story and the inconsistencies throughout, like, throughout that, it just like, the whole narrative like and the whole narrative just completely falls apart by Rise of Skywalker,
Hmm.
like, because it just can't handle, oh, like, The Force Awakens, while it's not perfect and people have pointed out the flaws, it
Hmm.
actually did have the hype, and people were going into the Last Jedi like with hype and expectations. Yeah, so
Hmm.
man, I was a really big Star Wars fan. Like, I actually still might get the new Star Wars game. I'm thinking like, only if the reviews are good though.
Honestly, I've really checked myself. I've lost all interest in Star Wars.
Yeah, me
Like there's
too.
a Mandalorian season 3 out now.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched the trailer.
I watched the trailer and I was like, I'm not watching it.
Well, it's just because, like, I just think like you've done everything you can with Baby Yoda, and anything more is just like a retread of like the first two seasons, which were like really good. Like, just the whole Gina Carano thing just completely like derailed and kind of like really like destroyed like the illusion that there's like a narrative focus for this series, and it's just all executive decision.
Yeah, and I mean, in like in season 2 when I don't know if you guys have not watched this, spoiler alert, Luke, comes in and gets Baby Yoda, and he gets Baby Yoda, and then that's it. Baby Yoda goes to train with Luke, as a Jedi, and then we don't see him. We don't expect to see him, but I guess it was so popular, Disney decided, okay, we need a season 3. Um, And I said no, because honestly, it's just over for me. Like at least for me, it just feels like it's over. It's kind of the same thing with like Avengers. After Avengers Endgame, I said, well, I guess the MCU it's got to be over by now. You know.
Well, honestly, that's a good thing because I'm looking forward to new things, like, and looking forward, like, and I do like, I see potential, like, like, did you see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
Puss in Boots, I have not.
Um, it was really, really good,
I
and
like the I like Puss in Boots as a character though. I haven't watched the new
yeah.
movie.
Well, you'll love the new movie. I'm not going to spoil anything. Don't
Mm-hmm.
watch my video on Puss in Boots if you don't want any spoilers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but going back to Cowboy Bebop, so the director, Shinichiro Watanabe, who was the original creator of the anime, right? Um, where is it? God darn it! It says Shinichiro Watanabe has admitted that he couldn't bring himself to suffer through more than one scene of the streaming service live action Abomination. Now, I think some of us were more patient because, I mean, for me, I watched through like halfway. I watched halfway through the show, and then up to like episode 5, that's when I was really like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. Right, and then I skipped all the way to the last episode, episode 9, where Edward shows up, right? And then when Edward showed up, I was like, "It's really, really like, come on, man." It just didn't look cool at all. Um, but the director of the anime, Shinichiro Watanabe, says some pretty cool, interesting stuff. He actually worked on was it Gundam 0083? I think it was from the 90s, in 90s
Yeah.
anime. Um, so he says for the new Netflix live action adaptation, they sent me a video to review and check. He said it started with a scene in a casino, right? Yeah, in first episode, which made it very tough for me to continue. I still remember that. And when you watch that first episode, immediately you think there's something wrong here. Like it looks very like a like cinematically it looks good, but I think the pacing is just slow and I don't know. Like for a second, it doesn't seem like Cowboy Bebop, but then it does, and then it doesn't. I was very on and off with it. Any comments, Dash?
I don't know. Like, I've seen like bits of the original Cowboy
Mm-hmm.
Bebop. It's definitely got like its own jam. Like the episodes, they're not like all these other modern animes that end with cliffhangers. Each one is a standalone episode, and then like there's overarching plots.
Yeah.
I quite frankly, I still need to finish the series. Really, I had the DVDs somewhere.
Oh, you
But
had the box set.
honestly, the whole thing's on Netflix now. I could finish
Oh
it.
yeah,
Like,
actually, yeah, it is on Netflix. Yeah.
yeah, like
Um.
the thing is when Netflix like makes deals, like they end up getting like the series it's based on most of the time. Like they also got one like all of One Piece now. Like I think
Yeah, they do because they're working on the live action, so they want to get people watching the anime too. You know.
it's a smart move.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to read something here. This has to do more about Hollywood than Cowboy Bebop because Shinichiro Watanabe also worked on the Animatrix. Anybody watch the Animatrix? Anybody? Dash.
I didn't see Animatrix. I've heard of it. It was
Oh, it's
something
basically
The Wachowskis like made like it's like a prequel to the Matrix with it, but with anime.
yeah. So basically, the Animatrix. It's what's a good example? So basically, it's like it explains the backstory of the Matrix, and it has like kind of like short stories in the world of the Matrix, and it's basically anime. Essentially, it's basically anime. And Shinichiro Watanabe, he worked on it, but this is what he says. He says, back on the Animatrix, I first got to work with people in Hollywood, right? Uh, he says working with those kinds of people is always difficult. This is because at the beginning they promised me that I could do whatever I want, but that's just lip service, right? And I think this happens nowadays. This happens now more than ever because if you look at a lot of the shows, especially with Marvel, DC, a lot of Netflix shows. Like I think they do this to directors a lot, and I pictured this with Tim Burton. Like Netflix told Tim Burton, "Hey, you can do whatever you want with Wednesday, right?"
Yeah.
And then Tim Burton was like, "Okay, great." And then like down the line, when the after the script is done and they're about to like start filming, they approach him like, "Hey, by the way, can you add this and this and this and this, right?" Right. So they kind of hook you. It's like they kind of hook you once you're stuck doing the work. Then they start bothering you with all these demands and stuff.
Well,
And
I imagine that's why what happened with Sam Raimi with the last Doctor Strange movie, because originally another guy was supposed to direct it, and he
mhm.
like got he quit or got fired, and so then Raimi took over, and then if you watch Doctor Strange, it doesn't. There's parts of it that feels like a Raimi movie, and some of it that really doesn't.
Mhm.
So it just makes me think like how much like control and free spirit he actually had. Like some of it, like the Evil Dead moments, like definitely feel Sam Raimi. Like
Yeah, and I think this it's just who was it? I think was it Feige that was complaining about this with Disney?
maybe.
Yeah, because it was one of the guys that was in charge of like the Marvel franchise, right? I think they were complaining about this, that they kind of like they like to interfere and tell you what to do too much as a director. They don't give you like they say that they're gonna give you the like freedom, creative freedom, but then they don't.
It might have been one of the Russos.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But then Shinichiro Watanabe says, actually, I had a big altercation with Hollywood producer on the Animatrix. Says he would always come with these stupid requests. It says just so he could identify his own contribution. He continued, as the requests were stupid and made no sense. I rejected all of them. Unfortunately, I couldn't win in this situation, so I had to concede on some of these things. Right? That's so he's kind of like creating his own, learning how to deal with these people in Hollywood, right? Then he goes on to say, I learned from this bitter experience. The director firm for subsequent projects, I became smarter at handling people who wanted to interfere in that, and I would send very small corrections, adjustments just before the deadline that tended to work, right? And I think hold on. Then he goes to say, in Japan, you sometimes get producers with similar ones. You also sometimes find good producers in America. Yeah, so this seems to be like an all around issue just in the industry that just like
Yeah,
the directors just get.
studios meddling.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happened with Star Wars. Remember when George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney? And
Yeah,
then they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be the supervisor. You're gonna have, you're also gonna have creative control." And then
they
they
immediately
actually,
booted him out.
yeah, they left them out of the project.
They threw away his treatments.
They throw away his treatments, and I think it's the same thing with Dragon Ball Evolution. Same thing with a lot of other projects, and I think it's probably gonna be the same thing with the One Piece live action anime on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in that, but I'm not really like into One Piece. On I know it's like one of the most popular like manga series ever, but I guess like the Four Kids version kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it would come on like just like after Naruto.
Honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why I am not a fan of it. Like I understand why people like it, but I was never a fan of it. I was always just a Naruto head,
Yeah,
you know. What else does he says? It's cringy. And oh yeah, he goes on with the requests that they make of him. He says so many requests. He's frustrated. He said, "Change this, change that." It was very frustrating. And if these requests were coming from the Wachowskis, I would at least respect that as they came up with the Matrix. So who was the new producer compared to that? He explained that he was the gatekeeper to the Wachowskis, and unless he could be convinced, he wouldn't bring my work to them, right?
hmm.
It says in handling the situation, Watanabe said, when I went to Los Angeles for the recording sessions, he's talking about the Animatrix.
Yeah.
I told the team that if I saw the producer, I would just punch him in the face. The producer ended up not coming to the recordings, which is unheard of. Yeah, so there was some drama there. So, I mean, this
Yeah.
is one of the reasons, and this is why I like to see. This is why I like to see, like, when the creators, when manga artists and anime directors, when they see their stuff being adapted into live action by Hollywood, how it ends up. I always want to hear what they have to say, right? Because because it kind of justifies how the fans feel, and for the most part, when this came out in 2021, a lot of the fans were like, "Dude, like this is gonna be so horrible. Like this is gonna suck." And we were right. We were right the entire effing time, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in as I was saying with the directors and the creators, um, the creator of Dragon Ball, he was so he was so pissed off with Dragon Ball Evolution, the live action, that he got out of retirement to make Dragon Ball Super.
You really think that's why we got Dragon Ball Super was because of Dragon Ball Evolution?
Well, because when did Dragon Ball Evolution came out? Hold on.
It
Hold on.
was like to
2012, right? 2010.
2012, maybe. I don't know.
Dragon Ball Evolution release
And
date.
yeah, and then Battle of the Gods came out in
April 2009.
yeah, and then Battle of the Gods came out in like 2013, 2014.
Battle of the Gods. Release date. August 2014. Okay, so I mean, if you look at the time frame, and then afterwards he released the manga and the anime.
You know,
So
what's funny is for the theatrical release, they still had the 20th Century Fox logo played before the movie because of the distribution rights.
oh yeah. Yeah, so so it came out in 2009, right? And
Oh,
then years later, Dragon Ball we get Dragon Ball Battle of the Gods, right? So I think that's one of the reasons. Maybe he got tired of sitting at home doing nothing, right? And he said, "Okay, I want to go back to, working again." But I'm saying this was probably one of the motivations, because actually, hold on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? If we go down here at the bottom, it talks a little bit about Dragon Ball. It says, of course, Watanabe is far from the first Japanese creator to express massive disappointment at the West handling of their creations, right? It says, most notable among such creators is the original Dragon Ball mangaka Akira Toriyama, who after witnessing the James Wong disaster that was Dragon Ball Evolution, he felt the need to produce Dragon Ball Super in order to undo the damage the live action outing did to his legacy. See? Hey, Dash.
yeah. Yeah, what's up? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Uh,
sorry. Yeah, what's up?
no, it said that basically it says so right here that
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I heard. So yeah, you were right. You were right. So in a way, I guess Dragon Ball Evolution did some good.
yeah, it this
If
I
it
mean it
gave
just
us like because I really like elements of Super, like especially like the whole Destroyer God and the multiverse stuff.
mhm.
It's like some really cool stuff to Dragon Ball lore.
Yeah, man. And let me hold on, let me close this. Yeah, so Dragon Ball Super did a lot of cool stuff to Dragon Ball lore, and people are asking about Dante in the chat. Dante
Yeah,
is absent today, guys. Sorry. Dante is absent, guys. Sorry. Um but anything, I mean, we cover what? Velma, Ragnarok, Dragon Ball, the Call it Cowboy Bebop. Anything you wanted to cover today, Dash? Any,
uh,
because I think we still got a lot of time.
I don't know. A lot of people so this Dead Space remake, a lot of people are streaming it. I decided I wasn't going to get it because I heard they were like going to do like modern audience stuff with it, and
Oh
like
boy.
And like, I was right. Like apparently they are, but yet people are still playing it, and then apparently it's got pretty like decent reviews. And I've kind of gotten, you know, I got a lot of people were mad when I made my video, like talking about how they made the one chick a lesbian when they didn't mention that in the original, or and I don't know. I just disagree with like the idea of like adding things to someone else's work if you're not like the original creator.
Hmm.
And like, because like EA practically took this franchise by force by dismantling the Visceral, and then and then making this remake years later with another studio. I just It just seems like, so like I honestly don't really know too much about the remake. So like, I think people are mostly more playing it because it's reminiscent of the old Dead Space gameplay.
Mm.
But I just think Dead Space like 1 and Dead Space 2 are good games. They didn't really like need remakes, but apparently people are actually liking this one, and I'm just like, I don't know, like I don't know. I saw the screenshot of the gender neutral restroom, which clearly was not in the original. And I'm like, just like, I guess like I don't know, like normally like people were like, "Oh, you're silly for like even like pointing that information out
Hmm.
and stuff." And I don't know. I'm just seeing what other people are like passing around about the game. I really like Dead Space 1, and I did stream Dead Space 2 over over Halloween.
Yeah, I wanted to
Have you
ask you
ever played
about that.
Dead Space?
That space, is it's a shooter game, right?
Third person, yeah.
Third
It's
person.
a
Okay,
third
yeah,
person horror game.
yeah. See, not a big shooter person. I've always been like an RPG lover, just action game, action adventure, like God of War, Final Fantasy, that type of
Yeah,
thing.
so like yeah, so it's a survival horror game. A lot of like limb cutting off because that's
Oh
like the
wow.
only
Oh shoot.
weakness. Yeah,
Um.
it's pretty like, you have to destroy their limbs so they don't get back up. Like
Wow.
that's their only weakness.
So
It's
this is gory as hell, then.
oh yeah, Dead Space games are very very gory, like severed heads, like limbs, like it's like these alien zombies, like they're like like they're mutated corpses.
I wanted to ask you something because you said they're gonna add a like they made one of the female characters like lesbian or something.
Yeah, like like it's just like a one line. Apparently, they just added
Okay.
that line.
Yeah, but I think that's something that's been happening to a lot of like gaming studios where like they want you to add something that's quote unquote for modern audiences, right? They just
Yeah,
want you to add it. Like, I mean, I talk about Square Enix ethics department a lot. I mean, I probably
yeah, the
see my videos a
infamous
lot.
ethics department.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I think a lot of companies just have that now. Like it's a must to have that. Like, hey, can we add this to this game? Just like at least just if they could just say it at least once, that'll be great.
well, I mean, like part of the reason why they do that is like like it's like for this ESG money, which I hear is pretty much kind of like drying up, and I think
Oh
like
yeah, oh
like
yeah.
some states are even passing laws like to shut that stuff down. So
No,
how
but a
much
lot of
long?
people are pulling out. A lot of people are pulling out of the ESG money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's drying up, and it's because like for how long can you continue to like piss people off, right? Because you look at the investors. If you're an investor and then you see like company after company, like investment after investment, like instead of these companies making money, they're losing money. I mean, take a look at Netflix, for example.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot afford to continue with this ESG stuff. Like, it's just ruining you.
Well, yeah,
So, of course, a lot of people are going to start pulling out.
like Netflix was like really like into the whole ESG thing for a while, and now like they've kind of like they've done their like restructuring, like they fired a lot of people, like they didn't get rid of the Dave Chappelle special because they needed the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, look at the whole Dave Chappelle, the backroll. Like Dave Chappelle brings in subscribers. So, and then you have like these people that were protesting against Dave Chappelle,
which
and
is
Netflix.
nuts.
The politically correct thing to do was for Netflix to listen to them and to shut down the Dave Chappelle episodes, right? But they couldn't because, excuse me.
No, the backlash would have been far worse.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, like look at I hear like Disney Plus has lost like so much money, and I bet you they'd be in a better position if they did not fire Gina Carano and like derail the Mandalorian hype.
Yeah,
If they just kept that Luke Skywalker high.
yeah, because at the end of the day, money is not right wing or left wing. Money is just
Yeah,
capitalism.
and like you said, like there are ways of having progressive and inclusive like themes in your stories without it coming off as obnoxious. Like I thought that video you did about
Anime being
progressivism
progressive.
and anime, I thought that was a brilliant video. I thought you
Yes,
nailed it.
yes, dude. And like exactly, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because look, anime it's like from for years, for decades, since the '80s, anime has always been progressive. And now, fast forward to today, I'm thinking about wait, like what are you guys talking? What I'm scratching my head over here for like the past since like 2018, 2019. I've been scratching my head and wondering like, hey, why is everybody so angry? Why are they like I know anime is mainstream now, but why are they attacking it so much? Like this stuff is actually on your side. There's a lot of stuff that you like here,
Yeah,
like it's
but
not just
it's they
mhm.
focus on the stuff that they don't like the boobies and stuff like that. And like, and all of that is just like for the like Shonen Jump, it has a male target audience, and that's not like changing. But girls are allowed to like it, just like girls were allowed to like Star Wars or play Dungeons and Dragons or all these things. Like
Yeah.
a lot of time, like yeah, it's true they were male oriented hobbies, but like that doesn't mean like you didn't have some girls that were into it. Like it same thing. Like it was just like me with the brony thing. Like a lot of other guys were like getting into it in college, so I gave it a shot. I found the show charming. That's pretty much like it.
Now, but you know what's something like I don't know if people are aware of this, but take a look at like comic books and like Western cartoons, right? Anime and manga attracts more females than the comic book industry does, than the Western cartoons does, and
I
because
believe it.
anime is actually more appealing to girls. There are so many chicks in anime. I think it's like when it comes to like Western cartoons in comic books, it's like 70% to 30%, 70% being the guy being males, and then when it comes to anime, it's like 50-50, just even.
I mean,
Right?
like
Is the numbers are very close. I'm doing like an estimate, but the numbers are very close. Like in anime manga, it's very 50-50. Because I actually talked about this before. I did a video on like sales numbers. Right? Have you heard of Lord Olympus, the webtoon?
no.
So Lord Olympus is this like super duper popular webtoon, right? Everybody knows webtoon. It hit 1 billion views. It's like one of the first to hit 1 billion views, and now it's on print, right? And on print, it sold millions of copies, right?
Never heard of it before.
Yeah. So, and the reason why you probably never heard of it is because it's for chicks, right?
Ah,
Lord of Olympus is a romance comic book, right? And I think, and so most of the people that read it were chicks, right? And this is where anime kind of like brings in a lot of girls because anime and manga has a lot of like romance comedy stuff, right? So there's a little bit of everything there's a little bit of everything. He's got guy on guy action, girl on girl action, whatever you like, and that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. That anime is very progressive, but despite of how progressive it actually is, like WOKE people still don't like it.
Yeah. Well, like they hate like I think the part that caters to like like straight guys. I think they hate that stuff, or they hate like that it doesn't like yeah like that the pandering isn't like more overt. Like I don't know. It just but honestly, like I just feel like enough people are kind of like aware and sick of woke stuff that
Mm-hmm.
like I think like I mean, I've noticed a little bit of a change in Western media. Like, I've been seeing a little bit more good stuff, but I've also seen a lot of stuff continuing to double down on crap.
Yeah, I mean, I think who was it? Was it? I think it was Was it DC that they're gonna like double down on? No, no. Was it Disney or was it?
It was probably Disney.
Yeah, yeah, it was probably Disney that they're gonna double down on like the whole, all those
Yeah,
ideologies, right?
yeah. I think that was even yeah, but that's because like now they had like the guy that like put them on that direction, Bob Iger. Like he's back at the wheel and he wants to do it.
Oh yeah,
But I think he
yeah.
also says like sometimes we have to give in to the audience or we have to give the audience what we want because he knows Disney is in very bad financial shape right now. So I think they're gonna try and be more clever with their bait and switches.
But
But the
even
thing is,
even
people have
Microsoft.
kind of caught on and they don't trust Disney. So it's gonna be even harder to pull a successful bait and switch like Indiana Jones 5. Is anyone going to follow for that? Fall for that?
And also the CEO of Microsoft says, "Hey, can we make games less political?" You know.
Oh yeah, the Phil Spencer, like, and I already said like he was singing like a completely like different tune like a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and like I bet you like a lot of the recession, and also maybe like the competition, like so I was actually following this on Twitter, so
Mm-hmm.
apparently some Bethesda games that were supposed to be coming to the PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
like Microsoft canceled those ports
Mm-hmm.
recently apparently like this new game uh i forget I forget what it's called I keep seeing like
So like a shooter game.
no it's like this weird like cell shade action game. I think it's up on Steam. Let me check. I bet you if I go to the Steam homepage I can
Yeah, actually, yeah. Let me know when you find it. But yeah, Phil Spencer. And I was just thinking, like, one of the reasons why he's probably saying that is because they're seeing the money like going down. Because
oh yeah, here it is. Hi-Fi Rush.
can you screen share?
Sure. Um oh yeah, so yeah,
See
so
if we can screen
so
share.
yeah, so present your screen. Okay, Hi-Fi Rush. Like this game apparently was supposed to be multi-plat. It's got like it's a Japanese game. Some people aren't really crazy about the art style though. But apparently, like, look at these reviews. Overwhelmingly positive. Looks like let's see those tags.
Buy Hi-Fi Rush. It's Hi-Fi Rush. It's called, right?
Yeah, Hi-Fi what
Is this
Rush.
Japanese?
Yeah, I think it was made by a Japanese. I like. There's a has a prominent Japanese director. I think someone who's worked on Devil May Cry.
Hmm.
So let's see: cartoony, action, rhythm, single player, platform, great soundtrack,
It's got
character action.
anime art style on it. So
Yeah,
and a
cyberpunk
bit of an anime art
stylized beat
style.
'em up comedy. Let's see what the reviews say. Freaking loved it. So much heart went into this game. Really shocks me that it was a shadow dropped game. Oh, that explains why I haven't really heard of it till now.
Hmm.
And it's only $30. Most AA games should be ashamed. Oh, so this was like a low budget game.
Yeah.
I would say this is a hidden gem, but I love this game already. But this is the game is great when it's reviewed as overwhelmingly positive despite having DRM. But this is Devil May Cry style rhythm game with gorgeous jet set radio aesthetics. Absolutely deserves all the praise it gets. Runs incredible, well on my rig, constant 1 frames with no drop. Damn, dude, you got a good PC. Excellent blend of Devil May
It's the
Cry rhythm games. Enjoy DMC and Metal Helsing. Then you'll Hellsinger. Fun combo system, intentionally cheesy dialogue, fantastic music, beautiful art, replay value. Final boss is a significant difficult spike. Shallow narrative. Main villain could have been better. Yeah, so I saw a lot of people talking about this game, and apparently it's PC, Xbox exclusive.
Oh, nice. By the way, I think we should start wrapping it up. Dash.
Oh, okay. Sure
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Sorry, it's just that the show would have been longer if Dante and Brandon was here,
Yeah.
but I guess they didn't show for whatever reason. But it's cool. We had fun here. I sure has fun had fun.
Oh, yeah, I always
Um,
have fun here.
yeah, and yeah. Anything you want to say to the crowd before we close out tonight?
Okay, please check out my channel if you can. It's Dash Attack VTuber EN.
Right, and if you haven't already, guys, subscribe to Andy Matrix. I talk about anime, manga, video games. I talk about Japanese culture. So if you guys are planning on traveling to Japan, I also talk about that as well. So I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, in the next show we'll have Dante, and we're gonna try to bring Brandon for
Yeah,
the next
it's a
show
little
if
bit hard to
possible.
contact.
Yeah, if possible, we'll have him in the next show. But guys, thank you everybody for showing up tonight. I had a lot of fun. And guys, everybody, have a good night. This is your boy Andy Matrix in Dash Attack. Godspeed, everybody. Good night. And